Hey everyone, Lockie Ward here. I thought I'd jump in at the start of this video just to give a little rundown. This is my first ever oval race in Charlotte, the summer shootout. It's a bit wild, it's pretty wild. I'm starting towards the back of the field. We get up to about 7th or 8th at one point, but we get spun and get an airborne a couple of times. So I hope you guys enjoy the video and get a sense for what the oval racing's like over here in America. So as you can see, it's a bit of a full-on start there. Definitely not as close as I could have been to the cars. I was just getting a feel for how this oval racing goes, and I was really trying to be cautious at the start of this race to not destroy my car, which you guys will see later in the race is pretty funny that I was trying to just not destroy the car early, and then what happened later in the race and what unfolded is pretty funny. But yeah, that was the start of the race. Just trying to hold the inside. I had a few cars on my outside and one behind me, so with this oval racing, the biggest thing is just trying to get down to that inside groove and run with the pack and not get stuck on the outside. You can get stuck on the outside and lose 3 or 4 spots, and you can't do anything about it. They'll just keep freight training down the inside. So we'll skip to the next restart and see how we go from there. So that's definitely not the restart we're looking for. We're really far back from the car behind, but we've got enough room now. We're at the back to make a smart decision, try to get down to that inside groove. There's the second caution of the race, I believe. It works a little different to how we race back home. So any car spins, anything like that, generally they're just going to stop on track. They're not going to try to get going to bring out that yellow and not go a lap down. So pretty much in every case in oval racing, if a car spins and it gets stuck somewhere or they're just not moving, they're going to yellow flag the race, and we've got anywhere from 3 to 5 laps under yellow. the grid will get reset and we'll go again, but we'll skip to the next restart. One really interesting thing about oval racing is how you can choose what lane you want to be in. So right here you can see the guys in front chose the bottom. I'm going to choose the top. As we come into this restart here, I can make up 2 grid spots instead of trying to stay on the inside and try my luck on the outside. To see here, I decided to not duck down to the inside. I'm trying to make the top work. It looks like we got a few cars up the top here, you know, making some moves, and the inside's checking up. As you can see, I make like 3 or 4 spots there, and then bang, hit the car that spun in front. I just had nowhere to go. I couldn't see, and unfortunately the car after this was pretty damaged. I did a couple laps under yellow, really trying to feel the steering out, and it was really locked up. As you can see, I'm trying here just to feel what's going on up front. But unfortunately what ended my race in the end was the little sump plug that comes out of the radiator actually fell out or came undone in that crash, and I was leaking coolant on the track, and I didn't really know about it. But we got a few more laps into the race until the engine started to get too hot and I had to pit, so we'll cut to that and see how we went for those few laps. Okay, so this is the final restart I was a part of. We're up in like 7th or 8th at this point, I believe. But we'll see this restart, and at the end of this lap, unfortunately, someone decided they didn't feel I deserved to be there, so we'll watch the rest of this lap. A bit unfortunate there, so just trying to get it into neutral, started back up, but we're doing really well up until that point. You know, we made a few spots, we're up in the battle, which was good. You know, the further up you can be in these oval races, the better it is, because you know, you got the faster group running up front, and generally they sort of split into, you know, 1, 2, 3 groups even. But yeah, you can see I pull in here after getting hit just to check my rear bumper, but we come back in later, realizing that we got a bit of a bigger issue than just bent steering. So there you have it, my first oval race. Here I am just pulling it in after the engine got a bit too hot. I switched the car off and just rolled it in. I really can't thank Donnie Senhouse enough for, you know, his patience with me, and, you know, humouring me when I was saying the car wasn't set up right or whatever, and, you know, he got me driving better, which is always the main thing I say with my drivers. You know, a good driver can drive around a bad car. But, you know, we're having a look here, seeing what the issue is, and this is when the boys told me that that little sump plug out of the radiator was gone. So, really good experience. Don't regret doing it. Do regret getting airborne a couple of times, but, you know, it's all racing and it's all good fun. Really looking forward to get back on the road course stuff and, you know, playing to my strengths rather than trying to play to these boys' strengths that have been racing oval since they were kids. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and you have a lovely rest of your day or night.